Hello everybody, my name is Miriam Divine and I am a trans witch, and this is going to be our new moon reading for the month of October 2025. It's right around the 21st, which is a good new moon outside. It's about 3:30 a.m., 3:33 actually when I look over at the clock, and I'm recording this. This is going to be a little bit longer reading. I'm not sure how long, but we're going to go ahead and prep our space. So I looked at my Hecate deck, and this reading is going to be with Hecate. And these two cards fell out. I was going to pick a card, and then she said just shuffle them and let some cards fall out, and this is what fell out, which represents Hecate, which we have the Guardian and Retreat, and this is her in her Guardian status. This is underworld stuff. And the month itself of October has been very kind of underworldish, very kind of darker. And she's in this kind of hidden mode, underworld feel. Look, she's like a shadow. I don't know if you've ever seen Hecate in the waking life. She does kind of feel like this, right? This is Hecate, right? One of her guardians of the underworld. I'm going to light these candles for Hecate. So you're not going to really see those too much on camera. This here is a bowl of mugwort for extra seeing. Now I did some meditation beforehand. I'm probably going to draw my Kundalini energy here during the reading. Probably expected right now. Here we go. There she's starting. Oh, right in my nose, right? Get this really kind of smoking up here. Right, I might put a little incense cone in there. I love the way that looks online. In fact, I'm thinking we're going to turn down the lights a little bit. Hecate says it's kind of a more darkish underworld, so forgive me, it's going to get dark for a minute. I'm going to turn off my main light that I use for, as you can see, I use the big old fat candle light. We're going to turn up the house lights just a little bit here so we can see what we're looking at. Okay, so that sets the stage a little bit better. It's a little darker. Be a little bit harder to see our cards, but that's fine, right? Now the sage, I cleaned my space earlier. This is one of the roses that came from my garden for Hecate. And this little key here, I did a major working with this key. It's imbued. I went to graveyards, to the Masonic temple, to the hospital, to the courthouse. I went all over the place to imbue this key with a lot of magic. So we're going to go from there. So we might warm up the place a little bit. So she said we're only going to really use this deck. So these cards, that's Mother Hecate watching, right? We're not going to really go too deep into those two cards, but we're definitely going to go into these cards. This is her new moon. Not really what's going to happen the next cycle. I'm actually going to do that reading. This is a message directly from Hecate to us. And she said, take a moment and draw your Kundalini. Okay. Now, I use a death experience for my Kundalini of great emotional draw. I'll make another video. She's saying no, not that card. She said keep shuffling. She said spin them up some. She said make sure they're really shuffled well. Very clean. So everyone add your intentions for this new moon. I'm fairly sure we're going to get a darker message. It's not all of those. So let's talk a bit more about Hecate in her. Okay. Our first card that we have is the Nine of Pentacles. Now, if we can see it here, if I take it up too high, you can't see it too well, but we have the Nine of Pentacles, and it came out in reverse. So we look at it this way. It's like plucking the fruits of your labor. However, the fact that it's in reverse is that yes, there are fruits of your labor from the whole month, but this is the beginning, right? It's a very subdued, almost feel where you're going to be putting in effort, a lot of effort, and you're not going to see as many results. I'm not sure where this card's going to go. It's just going to go here for now. It doesn't feel like this is our main theme, but it could be. So we have that one for sure. And what was I was about to talk about Hecate when some cards came out. Okay, we're gonna just pick 3 of these. So this one, and this one. In fact, we might even take those 3 later. Those will be 3 secret cards. So what we have is, you know, another pentacle. The 4 pentacles, which is holding on to something, right? You're protecting this. You're almost holding it, but not really protecting, but you're just kind of holding on. Like, I've got to hang on, right? And we have this not walking away feel for the new moon, right? And we have Temperance, which is a card of balance, except for its imbalance. So what are we seeing here? What is Hecate trying to say? She's saying that the fruits can't be plucked. Hold on to what you have. Don't walk away. Imbalance. It's a very muted message. So, what are we seeing here, Hecate? You're very cryptic. Talks about retreat from everything, right? Guardian. This is almost things I'm thinking you have to protect against, right? Losing something. Protect against this loss of walking away and the imbalance, right? And the hoarding. This is what I'm getting is, this is like the protection. This is what we need to work about. These are the things that are almost like obstacles for us, right? And she's saying she's a guardian. In her guardian mode, what is Hecate going to do? And actually, I see this card right here. Look. She says she's got this strange messages coming. This is all an outside influence, right? This all comes from the outside. This imbalance, this loss, this like missing, walking away and things, this hoarding. It's all this outside influence, is what she's saying. Which means that it's not yours. It's not yours to carry. And Hecate says, I can take care of this, right? This is like a communication. And she's saying, almost like you're suffering and she's giving out her hand to help you. Like, take my hand. I know it's the devil card, but is there more message here? Secret cards? What can we do, Hecate? She's saying she's going to take our hand, is what she's saying. Trust. Trust, and is that trust in? Hold on. Yes. Here's another, like, mentally finished card, right? Messages. Trust in my messages is what she's saying. So I know this is a very kind of cryptic month, and it's definitely so looking for signs. Look at the birds, the messages, right? All these messages are going to come in, and you have to look at, they're going to be kind of hidden, they're going to be kind of there, right? And actually this card kind of came out somewhat here, which means they're hidden messages, yet they're still there. So she's saying, look at the hidden messages. These are hidden messages. So we're going to look at these cards right here. And they're all in reverse. Every single one of them, right? So we've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which is you're going to get a message of stop working, right? Take a break, take a breather is where you're going to find your messages. And we have the page, as the page, right? You have the Page of Pentacles in reverse, which is more messages, right? These messages, they'll come to you with the Eight of Wands. It's kind of interesting. We have 8 on the outside of the page, which is almost like a 1 in the suit card. So 818 is a message for you. And this is how you're going to feel your messages, right? You're going to have to get in relaxation. And then this like lack of focus. I don't know if any of you have ever meditated before, where like in meditation you got the single point focus meditation, which is for cleansing the mind, and the concept is that you focus on one item so hard, like a flame or your breath or something, right? And what happens is the mind focuses on that, and eventually what goes down is the mind defocuses. And that's what she's saying. She's saying inside of that is the messages that you will find. And don't worry, she's going to protect you. And it's a relaxation. So you get relaxed first, and then you go into that single point focus loss message, if that makes sense to everybody. And so in deep meditation is one of the things where you're going to find messages. Meditative journeys, Hecate. Is that a message just for me? Okay, she says I can share. I actually heard her say you can share. Okay, now a lot of you have heard about shamanic journeying before. And maybe I'll actually do a shamanic journey as... I think I will. I'll do a shamanic journey into Damo's cave for everyone in my new moon reading, because I'm going to do the same shamanic journey. So maybe I'll just do one for you. Not today. I'll do it for when I do my big Dip Non-Rite dinner for Hecate, which I'm going to do tomorrow. Get some eggs and everything. But what it is a shamanic journey of into Hecate's kind of cave. And everyone sees it slightly different. I know I saw mine different, and it's evolved over time. And what it is there's actually 3 realms of Hecate. You have the underworld, which of course is this darker, it's where the spirits are. It's, it's Tartarus, depending on how you look at it. And she has allies down there and stuff. You can look at Hecate Eshtagal or Hades or something like that. that Persephone's down there, that kind of stuff in the underworld, right? Spirits, the four rivers, you know, those fields of flame, that kind of stuff. You know, the Christianity likes to call it hell, but that's not really how it looks like that at all. It's completely different. It's just a resting place for spirits and things. There is some prisons down there, but that's for a different day. Anyway, and then you have the middle world, which is this world, right? That's what her guardian is in the underworld, by the way. The middle world is her guide mode, which that's this realm. That's everything in this realm that's like this key. It's things of doing things in this realm. And this reading is for this realm, that you're in this energy here, and she's going to give you a hand and give you muted messages. And they're going to come in this meditative journey that we're going to go through. However, there's other messages too. She says there will be other messages. You'll see different signs like 818, right? Messages. You'll see them in numbers. You'll see them places. She says, get yourself some mugwort and let it blow in your nose. Stare at a candle for a few hours. Look into mirrors. Look around when you hear a dog bark, right? Go outside in the new moon and feel that energy. In fact, I'll probably do that a little bit here after, even though it's cold. And then you have her upper world, which is Hecate in her key and opening mode, right? Where she gives knowledge and information. This is in her heavenly body zone and things like that. And it's when she deals with angels versus the daemon, not demon, but daemon. Down in the underworld, she deals with the angels. In the upper world, in the middle world, she deals with us, right? That's us in the middle world. And then there's a separate world called the liminal space, or the liminal world. This is the place that she carved out years, millennia ago, when the world was split. She carved out this space, and it's what they call her cave. It's not in the underworld, it's separate. If you know anything about the vast void, which is that's chakra up on like the 13th zone, up above your crown, a little bit higher up, there's a vast void, right? Inside that vast void is a space. That actually, the vast void is the space, and it's a space of creation. And Hecate carved out a liminal space there, like a pocket of universe there long ago. And it's where she kind of abodes. She doesn't really stay there a lot, but it's where her home is. And it's kind of like her cave. So we'll go through that space with you. And there's a lot of messages there. And that's her four realms, or the four realms actually. She says they're not my realms. She says they're just spaces, places. And it's one of the reasons why in the great wars, in the great, she couldn't be locked down. She couldn't be put away when Zeus overthrew the Titans, right? When they were all locked away, Hecate was there with the Titans. She's one of the primordial gods, along with like Aphrodite, and I almost hear Hera. Aphrodite was this Inanna energy, which became Ishtar and Isis and all this stuff. She was primordial. She was before all of Zeus and them. She wasn't born at that time. She was born before. Hecate was the same, except for Hecate was born at the crack of the world, when the Titans were born. Aphrodite came later out of this, I think the sperm of somebody, I can't remember. Gee, I'm kind of going rambling on here, but that's what Hecate said, to go ahead and ramble on. There's messages here. She says, go ahead and draw a message. So, this one right here, she says a message. And another one, right? Squawking, right? See the squawking in the ear that's going to come out? There's going to be like a thief. There's a lot of really muted energy here. And October's been very muted. I saw a movie just last night called Meet Joe Black, and I'm not sure if anybody's seen it or not, but it's where Death wants to take a holiday, right? He wants to come in and play with the mortals. One of the four horsemen. I haven't really looked at death and the four horsemen in the realm. Maybe I should. I used to always, back in college, me and my friends, we had all picked one of the four horsemen, and they were our motifs a little bit in college. And I, of course, was death. And in this movie, Meet Joe Black, which I won't ruin and spoil it for you, but death comes in, of course, to claim and reap, but wants to take a vacation and falls in love. And there's a lot of truth and a lot of lies in there, a lot of messages in that movie. I suggest it's on Netflix right now if you have the ability to go watch it. But this message in your ear, it's going to squawk, and they're going to be saying, stop stealing things. That's one of the messages, right? So, where are we going with this? Anything else, Hecate? She says clear the board, reshuffle, and do another reading. So, whatever, do another little mini thing here. So you're going to get a lot of messages, right? Meditative journey is one of them. This squawking in your ear, like watching the movie Joe Black, is another one. There's messages hidden in that movie, which is kind of interesting. She said, especially for me, I have a lot of messages hidden in that movie. I don't want to do it, Hecate. Who says I got to do it? That's a private message for me. I have a friend that I don't know if she does. I think she does realize it, but I don't think she thinks I'm a trans person, even though if you go to my Facebook and my YouTube and stuff, it's obvious, but I think she doesn't want to see it. She wants to be blinded to the fact, even though we really hit it off. She says that movie, The Truth and the Lies, I'm going to have to tell the truths, right? Well, there's one of our cards that just jumped right out on the floor. Oy. So, here's another grow your roots thing, right? In the Seven of Pentacles, protect your roots, your baby self, right? In this magical thing, this is your magic, right? This is your soul. This is you. You and magic now are the same. And she's saying, protect it. Even though this is a very muted kind of feel for the month. And what she's saying is that it's okay if there's not a lot of celebrations, right? This is more important than this. More important than the celebrations, right? Yeah. You might have some parties coming up this month, maybe towards the end of the month. I don't know, I'm so busy. I want to go to some Halloween parties and stuff, but she says that the parties aren't going to feel right. They're going to be a little off. You're going to feel very alone in those parties. Pentacles. We're getting a lot of Earth cards, right? The Queen of Pentacles, right? I know where I'm at. It's very cold here in Pennsylvania. But nature is very beautiful in the fall now. She's saying get out into the woods, into nature. There's messages in the nature. There's messages in this muted party feel. When you're standing alone on the side watching, there's messages there. In your magic, there will be messages. Yes. In your root magic, in your magic, you can protect and create these messages. you can bring them out. You can find them. They'll appear in nature. This is you actively making them. This is nature. And this is observing and watching the party messages. So do we have any more other avenues where we're going to find messages? Of course, she says dogs, right? Of course, Hecate has one of her allies is dogs, right? And a lot of people say dogs are messages of Hecate. She was known for dogs. And they do. I hear dog barking. I kind of think of the messages. But like I said, this was Hecuba. But she has two hounds or two dog allies. It is Hecuba, who of course was turned into a dog at the end of, that was Helena. And remember the Helen of Troy story, right? When they go and attack Troy, Hecuba was mom. And she was turned into a dog. And she was, if you really do the deep research, she was saved by Cassandra, not Cassandra, who was the prophet or the information during the story, the sister who told the prophet. But her sister had a twin brother, and that was Helenus. And Helenus loved his mother, and he's the one who actually rescued Hecuba when she was taken away on the boats at the end. When they left Troy, they took Hecuba with them and left her, and Helenus rescued her in her dog form. And Helenus was, I mean, it's kind of weird, but was kind of like a trans person of the day, very just as magical as Cassandra. And she, he, they, them, whatever you want to say, Helenus took care of his mother and was a very powerful alchemist. And though Hecuba couldn't be returned to human form, Helenus was able to join her mother on the other side, and Hecate gathered them. Hecate gathers souls, and they weren't Hecate's first. Ninish was Hecate's first, which was the snake of the Garden of Eden. Ninish, she was gathered, of course. That's why I wear this ring, by the way. I wear it for Ninish. She was gathered as Hecate's first gathered soul. And the Garden of Eden story is all messed up. It's not what it really says in the Bible. It's completely different. I won't go into that there. It's a very long thing. But she also eventually gathers these two guardian dogs. And Helenus, as an alchemist, can transform. Hecuba can too. I've seen them both in their human form and their dark forms. They don't leave the gates. They guard the gates from liminal to the underworld. There's a back door, right? Not to be confused with that big old hound that guards the main gate. I think it's what, I can't remember his name, but the big old hound there, right? That Inanna had to avoid and stuff, I believe, back in the stories. They guard the back gate, and it's usually closed, right? It's an iron gate closed. But we'll explore that when we look into our shamanic meditative journey. I call them meditative journeys. Other people call them shamanic journeys. When we do that tomorrow or the day after. I think I'll do it tomorrow, though, as part of my Dipnon. So, anyway, the dogs. If you hear the dogs in their voices when they bark, if you listen to echoes of the past, you can hear echoes of the liminal space. You can hear Hecuba and Helenus, the mother and daughter that are there, right? I'm sorry, my hands are just kind of just dangling, right? That are there. And they will give you messages too. They're guardians, right? They're protectors. Just as Hecate is a guardian, a protector in the underworld, so are they. They guard the gates. Ninish guards the gate to the upper world, another back door to the upper world, in the liminal as well. In the gate to the middle world, which is our gate, there is no guardian. It is our way to visit Hecate. And it's kind of guarded by a secret. And I think that's what we're going to do because of the secret. So, do I see anything else here? Any other areas of message besides these natures and just observe and create your magic? Any other messages inside the dogs? Birds? Birds always carry messages. So with the other half of the reading you saw, there's a lot of birds, right? A lot of the swords cards have birds because they're message cards. One of Hecate's spirit animals is the owl. I can't remember who did the go find your spirit guide with Hecate via the spirit bird or the spirit. But you can do that. There's a meditation for that. Maybe I'll do that one of these days too. Do I see anything else here? She's talking me. Anything else? She says she loves me. That's nice. She loves you too. If you found this reading, Hecate says, I love you. I'm here for you. And I'll carry you in my arms like footprints in the sand. Okay, Hecate, anything else? Okay, she says no, that's it. Okay, everybody, this is our new moon reading. I'm sure it dragged on. It kind of went very slow in this very dark feel. I love you all. Have a good one. Bye.